This week we reviewed Death of a Unicorn. Stay tuned to find out whether the laughs are real or mythological.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Little taste.
David, what is this?
It's pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is butt country.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo being pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I'm Bryce Hanson, and with me is the boy with the hummingbird heart, Max Allen, and the they who is mostly vape at this point, Sydney Lee. Every week we review a single horror film. New releases always get priority, but we also reviewed older horror films, both good and horrible. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. We really need to move that rating up. So the more 5-star ratings you can give your lovable horror movie talk, the better. We're also available on YouTube. Don't be a square. Be sure to share all those things where you follow us. Also check out patreon.com/horrormovietalk, the equivalent of the adult section of your video rental store. So many bonus features inside await. If you want to add your pee to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com or call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail, people. We've got a great show today. We're reviewing Death of a Unicorn. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on, we'll be checking our voicemail with horror movie whores. And getting the follow-up on the controversial episodes
Backlash
of Horror Movie Talk. Which I don't think there are that many. I think there's only 1 or 2 that actually comment on it, but we'll see. Death of a Unicorn can be found in theaters now. Paul Rudd plays the hapless single father, Elliot, to Jenna Ortega's art history student, Ridley. They both go on a work trip to a remote estate of Elliot's boss in a former wilderness preserve. While driving there, they accidentally collide with a horse beast with a horn protruding out of its head. Just a single horn, like a unihorn. When they try to hide the evidence from the CEO and his family, wacky hijinks ensue. While this film has an interesting premise and a good cast, the words that kept playing through my mind while watching this is half-baked. Not like the wacky movie starring Jim Breuer and Dave Chappelle, no, but more like a mouthful of hot brownie batter. Sounds good, but is actually disappointing. While there were a few situations in which I did laugh, they were few and far between because what this horror comedy lacked most was jokes and bits. The characters were all two-dimensional, which in comedy can be counteracted with broad caricature, but the writing here attempts to be subtle and low-key with poor results. In fact, Paul Rudd's character, ostensibly the second protagonist, ends up being so wishy-washy that I was confused if he was supposed to be one of the villains. Jenna Ortega isn't as stone-faced as usual, but she doesn't have much to work with here. In fact, most of her dialogue felt like it must have read on the page, "Fill in later." Probably the most successfully subtle character is Anthony Carrigan's Griff the butler, which you might recognize him from Barry.
I was so excited when he came on screen. I went, Barry!
Barry! There were some good gory death moments. The expected impalements are here. There's some good head explosions, but it's just not enough. I usually think it's a cop-out to say that a movie's CGI is bad, but for a movie dependent on monster design, they should have spent a little more time and money dialing in the unicorns. So, not a huge fan. I was pretty disappointed. I give it still a relatively generous 4 out of 10. What say you?
Who's gonna go? We both breathed in. We were like,
you go, Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do anything but agree with you, Bryce. I really wanted to like this movie. I really went into it and I was like, I didn't want to see it. It looked bad from the trailer, but I was like, you know what? It might be good. We were pleasantly surprised by Hard Eyes. Maybe it was another Hard Eyes situation. But no, the minute I saw that unicorn, I said, wow, this is going to suck. This is a bad design. This looks like CGI from Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003 had better CGI for what's his name? And then this movie, which was made right now, it also reminded me of a kids movie plus gore. It reminded me of 101 Dalmatians. It was you know how Cruella de Vil wants to kill the puppies? That's kind of how the CEO was. And I was like, and there wasn't, it takes too long to get into the actual horror of it. And once it does, it's a complete tone shift. And you're kind of okay, yeah, now there's just intense gore, even though there hasn't been intense gore for the past 30 plus minutes. I did laugh twice. So those 2 jokes were great. What
were the 2 jokes?
It was when I loved, I thought Paul Rudd sucked in this, which was so disappointing because he's such a great actor. He's hilarious. I love him in most of the comedies I've seen him in, but I don't know. They just made his character so crappy. Jenna Ortega's playing the same character she always plays, but the wife, I forget her name, she was hilarious. And when she goes, I'm not a size queen, but the girthiness of that horn. I was like, that's funny. And then the other joke was when Anthony Carrigan was holding the clock and said, this is not a good use of time. I was like, that's funny. I chuckled. Yeah. But those were the 2 jokes that were funny. And the rest of the movie sucked.
Yeah, that's a damning statement that those are the 2 best jokes in the movie. That's
what I'm saying. That's a little embarrassing.
And a bad taste girth pun.
Yeah, I think you guys are being a little too mean. You didn't like the snorting the unicorn dust? I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, yeah,
there's some concepts that were pretty good. It's not like they did nothing, but it is
half baked, like you said. That's the thing is there are good setups to bits that don't flesh out. I think there's too many people we are supposed to care about. I don't know.
The family, the CEO family, they're all kind of the same. They serve all the same purpose.
Right.
I guess what's his name? The weird looking guy, Will Poulter's shepherd. I guess he's kind of a specific character of being the spoiled rich kid that is kind of useless, but they don't go very hard into that. It's mostly they're all kind of corporate greed people.
Yeah.
That entire family. And so, yeah, it kind of falls flat.
It's
a
just
lot of the jokes and bits are kind of fall flat because of it's not broad enough. The characters aren't broad enough. The comedy isn't broad enough, and they don't go one step deeper. So
right,
snorting the unicorn horn dust shows him getting high, but it doesn't really talk about what's the they needed a couple lines that say this is 10 times better than, meth, or this is 10 times better than cocaine.
It makes him
or
smart.
like he kind of said, like, it makes me smart, but then there's no proof of that.
It just reminded me of the episode of Always Sunny where like Charlie's doing that experiment and he thinks it's making him smarter, but it's just like a placebo. So he thinks he's speaking Mandarin, but he's just speaking gibberish. Like
Right.
that. It reminded me of that, but like that bit was fleshed out and good because Always Sunny is a good show.
Yeah.
But
So that's how like most of the ideas, like there are a couple ideas and like situations that they put in the movie, but they're all half baked. They don't like commit to it and they don't pay off, you know? It's all just blah. So Max, what did you
I didn't give my
what's
score.
your what's your score? Sydney?
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10, which honestly I gave it a 5 at first, and then I looked at me rating it a 5 and I said, what am I giving it a 5 for? Like I did not like it, so I kept thinking about it and
Right.
I moved it down to a 3. I could move it even lower, honestly, but
Jeez.
I really just didn't. I hated Paul Rudd so much that I just wish he had died. Like I was just like, I don't care. You're an asshole. You're a terrible dad. Like you're a bad father. Like you're being really mean to your daughter, and that's really fucked up. Like
and they do like a half-assed like redemption.
And the
scene.
unicorns were so bad, and this whole movie's about unicorns, and they look like absolute shit. Like it was so enraging to watch this movie and be like, I want to like this, I want to like this, I want to like this, and then being like,
Yeah,
'Cause the cast
there's a
is
couple
good,
choices
but-
that we can talk about in
Yeah.
the spoilers that that they could have made that I think would have made it more interesting or better. What did you think?
So, I liked it more than you guys did for sure. But I'll start out by some of the things we can agree on, which is absolute waste of an opportunity with Paul Rudd. I mean, maybe the worst character in the whole movie. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, he's not a good father. Like he's like, you can have a character with like deep flaws and not be a good person and still have them be interesting. He just wasn't interesting at all. Like it's like watching Paul Rudd in this movie was like watching an accountant try to close a deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of what they were going for, but it doesn't.
not to be confused with the 2016 movie The Accountant, because he knows how to close the deal.
Right. No, he starts out kind of like, Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. You know, he's supposed to be like bumbling and, like a hapless character. But then he turns into just like kind of a puppet or just desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't root for him at all. At the midpoint in the movie, you're just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it kind of branches into the unbelievable. Like, there are definitely parents who put their career before their children, and like that's a real thing. But the way he does it in this movie is like his daughter's like, I am begging you, like our relationship will not be okay if you do this. And he's like, but the money though, there's gonna be money. It gets a little too unbelievable with that aspect. And then I think it also suffers from the same thing that like a lot of Marvel movies suffer from these days, which I assume they watched Ant-Man and they were like, oh, we need Paul Rudd to do the same thing here. And the thing that like Marvel and like other movies like that suffer from these days is like the writing. They're trying to make every line a joke by just having the character say something that's like slightly awkward. And so Paul Rudd will enter the scene and be like, so like kind of crazy. We found a unicorn, I guess. Like,
And it's like, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
and it's not funny. Like, and that's like every scene is like someone is saying something just like slightly awkward to like get a rise out of the audience, and it's just not landing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I didn't like is the ending gets a little too magical for me. Like they're going for more of like a realism type thing, like halfway through the movie where it's like it's not just this mythical beast. It's like an animal with like different like biological powers, and like it's more grounded in realism. And then the ending kind of gets like very like ethereal and magical, and I didn't love that. But things I did like about it, yes, the CGI was bad, but I liked how the unicorns looked. They didn't make them beautiful. They made them kind of ugly. They gave them the size of a large horse, but the body shape of like a pony, where they're just like too fat in certain areas, and their face is just like a little too like donkey-like.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked it.
I thought it was more like the design was also looked more like a moose.
I wish,
Yeah, I had some
I wish
moves in
they
there.
had just used like those what are they? The Budweiser horses, Clydesdales or
Yeah,
something, and
Clydesdales.
stuck like horns on them, because like, and CGI'd a little bit when it's like crazy, but like you could have used real horses or something. Like you could have
Yeah.
made it look a little bit more real. Whatever. Keep going. Sorry.
I also like how like the first unicorn they find, they assume this is what unicorns look like. Kind of a spoiler, but it's a baby unicorn. And when the adult unicorns come in, they are just these monsters, like these disgusting looking monsters. And I like that. It's like the first one you find is kind of cute, and then the rest are just these like disgusting behemoths.
Well, they turn, spoiler, they turn back to normal at the end, though. They look different.
Yeah, they have like 3 different designs of the unicorns, because they shapeshift almost at the end, which is not explained or, makes sense at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like they make them the design more scary and like fangy when it needs to be, and then they make it more like a Lisa Frank unicorn when they need it to be that. And
yeah.
Oh no, Kitty, no! Don't eat the microphone. Ow!
Big job. Sorry.
I think Shepard did a great job. I don't know the actor's name, but he is like the
Will Poulter.
perfect. Yeah, he always plays the perfect asshole in
I
every
didn't even
movie
know
that
his
he
name
does.
until you guys started talking in the movie. Shepard. I didn't even know that was his
They
name.
call him Sheppy.
I had no idea.
But yeah, he like I've never seen that guy in a movie where he's not playing like the biggest jerk. And he does a great job. Like it's perfect. His face is just perfect for it. I thought he was funny.
He's either like an awkward kid, or he's a bully when he was younger, or an asshole. He's good. He's a good actor. He's in a lot of stuff.
I thought he was probably the best actor in this movie. I mean, Paul Rudd was absolutely useless. You did not need to cast him because they didn't use him at all. Jenna Ortega is just boring old Jenna Ortega, as she always is, and all that. I'm so sick of Jenna Ortega. Why is she playing a teenager in every horror movie that comes out for the past 3 years?
She's typecast as this one thing, and it's so egregious at this point.
It's getting old.
Like
yeah.
I don't care. Like I straight up, like her whole look too. I was like, so the writers are trying to think, oh, what does a teenager look like right now? And then they conflate it with like some bullshit, and I'm like, she doesn't look like, her outfits suck. Like she just look so crazy. Like
I'm gonna disagree. I do think this is a little different than her previous characters. It's just harder to notice because there's not much of a character there. Like her previous characters, like in Beetlejuice, like Wednesday is very much like a Aubrey Plaza archetype of stone face. Like, I'm over it. I'm above all this stuff with this emo attitude. And this, like, it's more of just a normal character. She's not like above it all. She's just like a normal teenager,
and shout
but
out to
also-
Jules. She was hitting this the whole movie. I was like, wow, every time she hit her jewel, I hit my jewel. I said, this is great. That was my favorite part of the movie.
That's another instance of like the like doing something like slightly weird or slightly awkward, like in like a tense moment, she'll hit the vape, and I feel like it's supposed to be like for comedic effect.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And then it's just like,
okay.
nothing.
Yeah, when I feel anxious, I don't tend to hit my vape. That's not going to help anything. But she was stressed. She was hitting her vape. I said, okay, that's she's
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely liked it more than you guys. I see the problems. I still had some fun, and I think it's a fun one to go see right now. I would give it at least a 6. I want to say 7, but you guys are peer pressuring me into saying we'll give it a 6.
Guilt you into not giving it a 7. Holy cow.
I mean,
That's
it's a
crazy.
unique concept. It's fun. I know you're gonna hate it that I'm gonna say this, but the part where the unicorns are attacking felt very Jurassic Park to me. Like, it has that vibe, and I think it's fun.
They do kind of like act like dinosaurs, which was a little like, I don't know. I guess, unicorns aren't real. So what do they act like?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I think the best parts are the attack scenes, or when the unicorns are on the offensive. Like, those are probably the highest quality scenes in the movie, to where it's like, yeah, this is what you do with a monster movie. This is like, these are the scenes that should happen in this movie. And so in that, those are the most successful scenes, but it's just wrapped in blah.
Yeah, do you guys hear the hammering away that's happening in my house?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
What's
That's
going
probably going to make the final edit, and I apologize for that.
You didn't hear that, Bryce?
They're remodeling my upstairs bathroom right now.
Nice. Oh, okay. Okay, well, you gave a 6 out of 10. So,
Yeah.
You know what's a 1 out of 10? Commercials. So if you want to skip ads like this one, it's right here. I'm pointing to it. Right there. You can join us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. Join at the tier that removes the commercials and gives you early access to episodes.
Do you know how easy it was to edit last week's episode with not to edit it, but to put the ads in, because I said like this ad like every couple minutes, and I was like, this is so good. I'm going to do that every time.
Yeah,
now.
it's fun. You mean like this ad? Another way you can support the show is go to our shop, horrormovietalk.com/shop. Buy logo tees and other merch. Max, did you get the box that I sent you?
Oh,
Yeah?
I got it. I signed the shirt.
Nice. Did you send it to Sydney yet?
No.
You really got to get on that, Max. You really got to get on that.
I've had it for like 4 days. You had it for months.
I mean, that's like 3 more days than you needed to. I'm just saying.
You have my address, right? Do you need it?
No, you'll have to send it to me.
Why don't
Say
you
it
put
right here.
Yeah, say
Okay,
it right now.
perfect.
It's ad break. Okay, also check out our resident artist Dustin Goebel on Instagram. He's at DGOEBEL00, and ask him for a commission because he's so good. Before we get into the rest of the episode, listen to this ad. And then call us at 682-253-4468. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
Not before this ad.
Thanks, Sydney.
Can we talk about how the beginning of this movie is a Volvo commercial?
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice.
So first you see the Enterprise rent-a-car thing. They take it off, and then it's literally shot like a car commercial. Like, it is back of the car driving through the woods, then it's the top of the car driving through the woods. This is the front of the car, and then you see the car 600 more times because it's like so important. I'm like, Volvo put a lot of money into this movie. Like,
And then it survives a
as-
wreck, like running over a giant unicorn, So it's
Yeah.
like,
So
they should have put a line in there like, wow, I'm sure glad we got rented a Volvo with its safety features.
Well, yeah, it's not as egregious as you didn't see this movie, Bryce, but the Strangers Chapter 1, the opening scene where they're like, oh man, we don't get paid for like 3 more days. How are we going to pay for this? And he's like, don't worry, I downloaded the friend the friend pay where they'll give me our paychecks 3 days early. All I have to do
man.
is sign up for this contract, and it
the
was
payday loan app,
crazy.
yeah.
I was like, what?
It's like everyone get payday loans. It's so good for you, and it's not going to affect your credit at all.
Well, no, it wouldn't affect your credit. You're talking to someone that worked in payday loans for several years.
Well, if you can't pay it back,
Well, if you can't pay it back.
Guys, I'm so sorry. How bad is the hammering?
it's not that bad.
I can't hear it.
Okay, well then we'll continue. I keep trying to mute myself, and then the phantom power takes a while to kick back on, and then I'm not talking, and then
It's okay.
We'll just hit the mute button on Riverside. That's the easier way to do it. Okay, so the opening scene, this is where it starts getting confusing with the tone, because the opening scene is Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega on a plane, and
I
she's
almost
leaning
forgot
on
about
him,
this.
falling asleep. And it starts out introducing these characters with kind of a sweet moment of like Paul Rudd just seeing his daughter lean against him and like not wanting to ruin the moment. And then for comedic effect, ruins the moment by picking up, some papers that he dropped, which is probably supposed to be more of a thematic statement than it is, but it doesn't land because I'm still confused about what that character's supposed to be.
Yeah, I
But-
thought the themes, when I said like this is like 101 Dalmatians, which I love that movie. Like I love it. It's great. But I mean that also in the way that the themes of this movie seem really childish to me. Like I get it. Like the menu did really well. So let's make a movie. Everyone in the world make a movie about how rich people are bad, but nothing is fleshed out. Like these rich people are bad and they say funny stuff and they want to harm endangered animals or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay. The dad is more focused on work than his family life. Okay. I get it. But it's not completely like it doesn't go to an extent where it's like you get a nice resolve on it. Like it's really like this is why I think it's kind of like a kids movie, because it's like, yes, I understand what's happening. You don't need to shove it in my face. This is a rated R movie, I think. So why are you pretending like the people seeing this don't know what things are? Like
I think they try to go a little bit deeper with the rich people bad theme. They kind of branch into like philanthropy is useless or meaningless type vibe. With like they started out being like, they walk in and she's on the phone with someone and she hangs up and she's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna evacuate the refugees, or did we say we were gonna vaccinate them? I don't remember. Whatever. Either way, it's good. And it's like, yeah, these people don't care about the money they're spending to help people. They're trying to look good for other people. And it ramps that up towards the end where they're like, oh, this is gonna save so many lives. And then they realize they have a very limited supply and they're like, well, it's not gonna save so many lives, but it'll save a couple. And
yeah, it'll save
so
the lives of the people that we want to save, like other
Yeah.
rich people that we're friends with.
Yeah, I think everything that they set up like that, they take one beat where they should take like 3. Like they should have really
Yeah.
cemented Taya Leone's character as she's the arm of the family in charge of philanthropy, and her like self image is tied to helping people, but she's not actually doesn't care about it at all. She doesn't actually care about people. They should have taken like a couple more beats. I thought that line was effective, but they should have added more of that stuff. The like, was it evacuate or vaccinate? Yeah, and then she moves on. That's actually a pretty great
It is
like bit I just wish they would have done more of that. And then same with like Will Poulter's character, where they just don't take enough beats to cement that he's useless.
Like he's supposed to be like this, like everyone's like a caricature in this movie. Like he's supposed to be this like stereotype rich kid, like dumb but thinks he's smart. Like oh, like when he's like in like investing in Ethereum, which was a good idea, by the way. Like, okay, that's kind of funny. Let's keep going with that. But it's like all these quippy one-liners for everyone and not actually like getting to who the character is. Like, even if the character is a shitty person, like flesh them out and show me what's the extent of their shittiness. Like he's just like, they're all very one-dimensional because of
they're trying to
replicate.
They're trying to replicate a couple characters from Succession. And they do it poorly. You know, they're trying to.
I like when he says the hard sciences couldn't contain him.
Right. Like he's supposed to be like a Kendall Roy character.
Yeah.
And
I'm the eldest boy.
I think that if I was a rich kid, I would have been exactly like this guy, because the whole idea is like, oh, I have my hand in many pots. Like I don't settle for one thing per se. Like I have lots of things I like to do, but never really does any of them.
Right.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning because it sets up the movie. So they go from the airport to the rental car and they're driving, and they have kind of an argument, and they set up that Jenna Ortega has acne, and he tells her to stop picking at her face, which was interesting because before he said that, I was like, huh, yeah, then have her skin look normal and not Hollywood. And then it was like, no, this is for effect.
Yeah, they make it seem like she has like horrible, like debilitating acne and like scars all over her face. She's got like a little bit of acne. It's almost like she still looks gorgeous. Like,
yeah, she's got like 3 red spots. It's not even like at a head or anything.
She doesn't even have a white head. Like, bitch, this
no
is
white
just
head,
like a
no
little
scabs.
doo-doo. Like,
she's picking at red skin is what she's doing. But so they run into the unicorn by accident, and it's like a little.
well, because Paul Rudd is being so fucking annoying. Like, oh my God. Like, he's on the phone, he's screaming. He obviously doesn't have service. And it's like, dude, put the phone down. Just drive.
Yeah.
Like, my God. I was already annoyed with him then. And then as the movie went on, I was like, this dude needs to get out of the scene, get him away. Like,
this just reminds me of.
I gotta say, when I watch a trailer, I do the math in my head of like, what is the quality of this movie based on the people involved? And I looked at Jenna Ortega. I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad, you know, because she's in a bunch of mid horror movies. And then I saw Paul Rudd and I was like, will Paul Rudd counterbalance Jenna Ortega's midness? Because Paul Rudd makes good choices with movies. Like,
not all
or
the
even if he's
time.
in mid movies, he comes out as the best part of them. And this is like the first time when I've just like, wow, Paul Rudd just does not make this work at all. And like there's a couple scenes where I can tell like, okay, that's a Paul Rudd improv thing. Like when he goes to Will Poulter's character in the hot tub and he's like, Will Poulter's like, good job. And Paul Rudd goes, Donka. Like, yeah, that's Paul Rudd.
Are
like,
they
that's
in
totally
Germany?
him.
Like, where are they?
No, they're in Canada.
Oh, really?
I'm not even sure that they say, but
Yeah, they're in Canada.
So
There's a bunch of Canadian flags when they land, and
I
they
didn't
say
even
like, and they're like, oh, the mountains this far up north are beautiful. Like they're in Canada.
okay.
Yeah,
Eagle-eyed
like
Max.
this cast is so good. Like Jenna Ortega is a good actress. Will Poulter is a good actor. Yeah. Paul Rudd, like, well, I mean, I liked her in X. She was good in X. Tia Leone is hilarious. Anthony Carrigan, hilarious. And even the Sunita Mani, her character, she was great in Mr. Robot. Like, I like that actress a lot. And I think, like, I don't know what was the appeal. Like, did they all get like blackmailed by this director to be in this movie? Like,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
so
weird.
confused.
It's his first like full length movie, like
I
as a
know.
director.
So like, who is it? Like, what? How did this? Like, how is this pulled off? Like, I really just
How did they? Were they on, Epstein's Island's list? And then they just said you got to be in this unicorn movie or else.
that's kind of what it felt like. Like, it was just so strange and like so we're not even talking about the movie, like what actually happens, but they hit the unicorn and they have to like put it out of its misery, and then Jenna Ortega has like a religious experience.
Yeah, she like touches the unicorn's horn, which is glowing, and she like sees infinity. She's like taken into, another dimension,
Nirvana,
another rainbow,
like
middle of the universe dimension, and then gets ripped out of it because Paul Rudd beats the living shit out of the unicorn skull with a tire iron, which is pretty great.
Yeah, like this was a good setup. Like I was okay with how this started. I was like, the unicorn looks like shit, but like it's fine. Like it's good. Like whatever. Like where are they gonna go with this? And then from there, I was just like, ah.
Yeah. So they load up the unicorn in the back of the Volvo. And
Which
This,
How?
by the way, is my yeah. How did they it takes hunters? They have to like deconstruct the body of an animal and pack it away in units. You can't just lift a horse.
How the fuck did Jenna Ortega help Paul Rudd fucking lift that horse? Number one, he's not in like, he's not in like perfect buff like shape. He's just kind of like a dad bod kind of dude. And then Jenna Ortega is like this tiny little thing. Like,
This is the least handsome Paul Rudd has ever looked in this movie. He looks so boring. Like
he just
his
looks like a
haircut
dad.
is bad. Like he's got like, I don't know, like it wasn't his best.
he was so unfuckable in this movie.
He was.
Yeah, so they load it into the car, and I don't even think the audience knows this at that point. But then they make it to the estate, and
they show it when they get there that the unicorn.
We should say the reason why they pack it in is because Paul Rudd is like, oh no, this must be some endangered species. Like I'm gonna have to pay a huge fine or like go to jail if they find out that I hit this thing, which, could be a problem if it wasn't a unicorn. But so he hides it in the car so that he doesn't have to like pay a fine.
Also, like, how the fuck would anyone know that you hit this unicorn? There's no one up there. Like, you're in the middle of nowhere. I don't even think the cops are gonna like, who's gonna fucking find this unicorn? Like, just leave it.
I mean, to be fair, like if the wildlife patrol or whoever like come across this dead endangered animal in the road, and then the only people to drive on this road for days have like a huge dent in their car, like it's not that hard to figure out. But
yeah, so I think the rationale is that there's only one road in, one road out. So it's like whatever's on that road is going to be found out.
So when I served my mission in Florida, they have these sandhill cranes. I don't know if you've ever seen a sandhill crane, but they're as big. Tall. They're as tall as a person, and they are an endangered bird. Mm-hmm. And their favorite thing. They're endangered, and you have to pay like thousands of dollars if you hit one with your car.
Wow.
And their all-time favorite thing to do is to mosey into the middle of the road and just hang out.
Yeah. I
have sat for like over 10 minutes waiting for a sandhill crane to cross the road.
Yeah, we were at Disney World a couple years ago, and on our way back, or on the road, we stopped and ate at some Chipotle somewhere or something like that. But there was 2 sandhill cranes that were just hanging outside, just walking right up to us, in the outdoor tables, just looking like giant, ostrich pigeons that were just looking for, scraps of food and stuff.
They know that they have the power in the dynamic. Like they know that they're endangered, and so they walk up to people. They don't care. They hold all the power in that relationship.
I just looked it up, and sandhill cranes are suspected to be 6 million year old animals. There's fossils found of them from 2 million years ago.
Trying to see if I can find a picture.
That's why you can't hit one with your car.
Yeah, they're ancient.
They move incredibly slow as well.
Maybe they used to be velociraptors and they evolved to be just annoying. Okay.
What are you looking up, Bryce?
I'm trying to find a picture of a sandhill crane because I'm. Oh.
Type in sandhill crane in Google and just pull it up.
That's what I
Well,
did.
no, I had like a picture on my phone because we
You took a selfie with a sandhill crane.
yeah.
Hanging,
All right.
chilling.
Speaking of birds that are incredibly annoying, have you heard a peacock? What they sound like?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
They
seen
sound
a
like children
peacock.
screaming.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what else sounds like that? Fisher cats. Have you ever heard of Fisher cat? Maybe they're just around here. I have no idea. But they sound like a woman being murdered. That's what it sounds like. And the last time I had to watch my little sisters, I was going to bed and I just heard blood curdling womanly screams outside. And I texted my stepmom and I said, "What the fuck is going on? Like, what is this noise?" And she was like, "Oh, that's probably the Fisher cats." And I was like, so I literally almost just called the police. So thank you for telling me, because it was so loud. And it was like, I looked outside and I like, after she told me what it was, I saw the animal. It was like on the front lawn and I was like, oh.
You know, that story is made so much better knowing how pissed off you were to have to watch your step siblings.
No, this was like when I actually planned on watching them. So
That's a Fisher cat.
yeah, dude, it's crazy. It was horrible. And they're all around here. And so it's like, it's not fun. But I don't hear them at my house.
So they get to the house, and Paul Rudd is trying to impress this family, and he's got like his, like, it's very convoluted what's supposed to happen or what his motivation is.
He's like a lawyer.
He's a lawyer or accountant, but I think they say something that he works in the risk department or something like that.
Compliance.
I think compliant. I'm pretty sure he's a lawyer, and he's meeting with the family to be able to be on the board.
He wants to be a partner.
Yeah.
So he
Is it
can
a
make
partner?
more money, and then they'll be set for life. Because he like explains that to Jenna Ortega.
Because I thought he said something about being on the board. Which
who fucking knows? Like,
which is
literally,
confusing
who
to me
knows what
because-
is happening? Like, I don't know. Like,
So the whole point is that he's there to impress them to get a job that will set them up for life, basically. Which from all like appearances, like they're probably doing fine. You know,
they have this Volvo. Like,
Yeah, they're able to rent a Volvo. I mean, how much more money do you need?
Speaking of him being a lawyer, this line at the end where the cop's like, "You guys are going to need a really good lawyer." And then they look at each other and smile. And I was like, what? Because he's a lawyer? He's going to represent himself? Like, what? What are they
stupid.
talking about?
it's so dumb.
Yeah. So they set it up, and there's a couple like kind of awkward interchanges between him and the family, and they set it up to where like they're saying, "We asked you to bring your daughter because we want to see how your family acts and how you are as a person," which is the mechanics of this setup requires the family, the rich family, to be representative of like they actually care about family, and like are actually, you know, someone worth impressing.
Also,
and then that is what's required to make the situation interesting, and then immediately just doesn't appear like they care about each other at all. And then when they see that Paul Rudd doesn't give a shit about his daughter at all, they don't care either.
right.
You know?
And also, like, the patriarch of this family is dying of cancer. He wouldn't be working. I'm like so sorry, but he's like really sick, and he wouldn't be like doing these deals. Like he can't walk. Like he's super ill, and I get why he's sick. It sets up the whole unicorn fucking horn shit. But like it doesn't make sense that they would be like, yes, let's have guests. Like,
well, I think here's the component that comes in later that I think is really important for both of what you guys just said is they reveal in a very like offhand comment later in the movie that the only reason they're giving Paul Rudd this opportunity is because they need a fall guy in case like their illegal schemes become public. And so
I didn't
the
catch
reason they care about his family and their situation because his wife died, they want to make sure that their fall guy is like a person that people can feel for and like connect with. So like if it all goes wrong, it's like, oh, it was all this guy's fault, but like look at his family and like look at their situation. Like he lost his wife, and
why would that be beneficial to them?
So that they don't have to take the fall for the
and it looks like they
stuff
care about like this guy that is so like, it's so sad.
See,
it's
that
so
doesn't make
tragic.
sense.
Look, we employ people that have tragic lives.
Yeah,
like we're so good.
I feel like if you're trying to set up a fall guy, you would want the most unlikable person to take the fall so that they'll
maybe.
Well, he is unlikable as fuck.
Right.
He is really unlikable. That's the whole thing. He sucks. If I was in this situation and I was Jenna Ortega, I would be like, wow, I'm going home. I'd be like, wow, I'm going to go get a hotel. You are the worst fucking dad. Like, he is so dismissive, so awful. And he seems like he wants to repair this relationship. Like, he's like, I haven't really talked to you much since you went to college. What? That's horrible. Your wife died and her mother died and you do not talk to your daughter? That's like really terrible. Like, you're not doing a good job. And she clearly doesn't like you because you've been you abandoned her. You said, go to college. I don't give a fuck about you. And so you're trying to like repair this thing, and she obviously doesn't want to be there, and she doesn't really like you very much. So it's like, it's just this strange dynamic. And it's like, you can create like a strained like father-daughter relationship and have it work out and have you actually care about both of these people. But like Jenna Ortega is the only one that's like redeemable because she's like trying to do good and whatever. Like Paul Rudd is insufferable. Like insufferable.
You know what? I mean,
it's so funny because it's such a overused trope of the single parent and the recently deceased parent.
That's why it's like a Disney movie.
There's only a couple scenes you need to like set it up, and you need the scene where they say, like ever since, mom died, you blah, 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 and have them feel bad and have a rift. And then you have the scene at the end of the movie where it's like, ever since mom died, blah, 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 I've been trying to do this. And they kind of have that, but it's so, again, undercooked. Like they don't complete it, and it's not good enough payoff for them to use that trope to me.
So I think a movie that does this really well, and it wasn't even that good of a movie, is The Exorcism. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
yeah,
the way they do it is like the mom is dead and the dad is a piece of shit, but he also loves his daughter.
Right.
And so he's trying his best to be a good dad, but then he is just so flawed that he still like does horrible things. Yeah. And I think that is a much better relationship to show versus like, I say I care about my daughter, but I do nothing to show it. And all I care about is money, but I'm kind of fumbling this business deal anyways. So I'm kind of losing on both ends. Like,
how did he get in this position if he's so awful at his job? Like, how did he get to a position where he's like, I think I'm going to be made partner, when he clearly doesn't get along with this family at all? Like, has he even met them before? Like, that's what it kind of seemed like. Like, it falls so, like, it is so crazy to have Paul Rudd, who is one of the funniest actors in the world, just deliver these shit lines. Like there's this one scene where they're about to go hunting and he walks out the door and he goes, "Does anyone have bug spray?" And then there's like a 30-second pause. Like the theater was going to erupt in laughter when he said, "Does anyone have bug spray?" I did not laugh. That's not funny.
Right.
Like, and there was such a long pause. Like, I remember like clocking that and being like, oh my God, like, what's going to happen
Then he comes
next?
back and he's like, it says DEET on the can. Like,
It's like, I don't give a fuck.
The joke is still going.
It's like no one cares.
Yeah. So we haven't completed the setup. So they're at this dinner, and then Jenna Ortega excuses herself, and then
They don't even have dinner.
they're about to have dinner or whatever. But they're introducing, and Jenna Ortega walks off, and then it's revealed that like she rubbed off her acne, she was spontaneously healed, and then Paul Rudd's allergies and vision get spontaneously healed, and then it's revealed that they have the unicorn in their trunk.
They do the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man moment where he has his glasses on and he can't see, and he takes them off and he has perfect vision.
Right. So they discover the unicorn, and then they quickly discover that it has these healing properties.
And it's still alive.
And then, that it's still alive, and then they kill it, and then, And then, like, another main part of the movie is Jenna Ortega is this art history major, and she discovers these tapestries.
Who gives a fuck? Like, I was like, this is the dumbest lore. Like, it's a fucking tapestry. What is that telling you?
It's lore about the unicorn. Probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, and the part that did make me laugh out loud, is when she was watching the documentary on the tapestries, and they're like, and then part of the tapestries have been lost to time, but we've recreated them using AI or whatever, and then they like show these tapestries being created where it's like unicorns viciously, defenestrating.
Like, how did they know that? How did they know?
I know. That's dumb and broad, and I wish the rest of the movie was that dumb and broad where it's like, no explanation. We're just like, just an authoritative documentary was like, but if we could see the tapestry that's missing, it would look like this. And it just has people being, eviscerated by unicorns.
Yeah. And
then so it has this problem where Jenna Ortega's character researches the unicorns and comes to warn the people that, like, we can't do this because something bad is going to happen. That's all she says. Zero evidence, zero rationale for it. So it's like,
they're like, we don't care.
Yeah,
like,
of course
they
they're not going
literally
to care.
say we don't care because by this point, the dude has already been healed by the guy. So the guy with cancer, he takes the unicorn horn or whatever, like, and they put it in his IV, and he's like spontaneously healed, and he can walk, and he has no more tumors and all this shit. And there's doctors there, so this is also the thing. And
they bring in scientists, and then they discover that science can't unicorn, and
he's
it's
like, why not?
Yeah, it's a limited supply of unicorn horn, and so they.
Well, I kind of agree with what he is saying though, because he's like, we don't understand the properties. Like, if we had a million bajillion years, we could never replicate what this horn does. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's the same, it's the same thing as recreating the tapestry. You're just like, because we said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a very broad joke and they should have made it broad of just being like,
They should have made it funnier. They were making it too serious when they were telling us these things, where it's like, just be crazy. Like, if you're watching The Evil Dead from like 2013 and like the guy finds the book and he starts reading out of the book, it's like, why would he do that? I don't know, but it works. It works because it's like, obviously you're not going to read the book that's like crawling and biting you, but he does it because it's funny, and then chaos ensues and it works. Like, this is like, look at these tapestries. I'm so serious about it. Okay, we don't care. Oh, you can't recreate the horn. Okay. Oh no. Like, it's like they play things the wrong tone in this movie, like, the whole time. Yeah. And it's just doesn't work.
I think one of the other things missing from the movie that, like, I thought they were going to do and they didn't at all was show the unicorns in their environment or show their lair. Like, they kind of alluded to it They show a cave.
I was going to say this. What the fuck? Why did they keep doing this cave thing if it didn't matter?
Because
The
they
unicorns
kind of
live in caves with bats and...
They made a
Nice.
choice with the unicorns that they're going to make them the monster. So they made it into a monster movie. And granted, that is the stuff that worked.
Maybe it's a hollow earth theory where you go into the cave and it opens up to look like what my background looks like.
Right. And see, that would have been great. You know, like it. I think another route they could have taken was having it be unicorns versus humans and show from the unicorn's perspective a couple of scenes and
They
show.
should have let the unicorns talk. I would have loved this movie if the unicorns
Yeah.
talked.
So that's kind of missing for me. And then so they're trying to like wheel and deal and use the unicorn horn to their best abilities to make the most money. And then the two parent unicorns show up, and then that's when they go hunting unicorns. I will say probably before that happens, one of my favorite lines from Paul Rudd is, and this is a very Paul Rudd line, is, "You need to trust me that I know how to play the situation, unicorn wise." Just I
It's
don't
like,
know.
what does that
one
mean,
worked for
though?
me.
So I want to touch on the horns of the adult unicorns, because if you look at my background or Bryce's background, you see like a regular unicorn horn. And that's what the baby's unicorn horn looks like. But the reveal that the adult unicorns are these monsters comes when a horn just out of nowhere gores a guy, and it looks like a ancient like tribal sword going through this guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy looking.
It's like a mall ninja knife. It's got like so many serrated
Yeah.
serrations.
Yeah, but also like the thing is like you see these adult unicorns and they're like black and they have scary horns and they have scary faces and teeth and all this shit. But like the baby unicorn was like white and had a looked like the one that Max has behind him. And then at
it's a little fucked up. It's
And
not
then at
quite
the-
just a horse.
It
with
looks
horn
like a
on it.
white donkey that's
yeah,
large.
it's like
Right.
weird, but like it's like, you know, what you would kind of think of when you think of a unicorn. And then once like everything gets resolved at the end, the parent unicorns turn back into white unicorns with regular horns. And I was like, wait, what? Like I was like, what is this about?
Yeah,
like,
they establish so hard that the unicorns are black throughout this entire movie, and then when
They
they're
just
galloping next to the car
magically-
at the very end, they're all white, and it's
I
yeah.
don't get it. I don't understand.
Did you guys? Okay, so let's talk about the deaths. The deaths are pretty good. Like
They were good. They were
like
great.
Richard Grant's death. He gets a unicorn horn through the skull.
Great.
The one security guard gets stomped on his head and with a hoof, which is pretty great.
The two disembowelings, great. But what it just like this much gore did not fit into the movie that was set up. Like there should have been I just that's how I felt like when the first death happened where the doctor gets stabbed through the stomach and like disemboweled. Like I was like, that's crazy for like
Yeah.
what this movie has been up to this point. Like it had been 30 to 45 minutes of nothing. Like
Right.
nothing like that at all besides like the bashing of the unicorn at the beginning, but you don't really see it much. And I don't know.
Let me pitch you guys a scene that I was hoping was going to happen, and you tell me if this would have made the movie better. So, there's a part where the mom is being gored by this unicorn, right? And her son has a flaming arrow pointed
Right.
at the unicorn, and
so
she
the
turned on
situation is let me flesh out the situation.
okay.
So Will Poulter is saying like I can kill it with my arrow, and then Tayloni's character is like, hey, we've got this oxygen bottle, we could blow it up, and then he's like, no, we can't blow up the oxygen bottle because it'll blow up the horse and we won't be able to use its unicorn magic. And so the setup is Tayloni's character with the oxygen tank is getting gored by the unicorn, and Will Poulter is on the balcony overlooking them with the flaming arrow.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So what happens in the movie is she like turns on the oxygen and she's like begging him to shoot the flaming arrow, blow up the horse. But he chooses not to because he doesn't want to blow up the horse, and she just gets gored and dies.
Yeah.
But what I thought would have been so funny and would have just been the best, like he's pointing the flaming arrow at them, if as soon as he let go of the flaming arrow, the horse like gallops away and just the flaming arrow stabs the mom and then blows up and she's like burning, like,
right.
And the horse is fine. Like that would have just been so funny, but they don't do that. And I thought it was a missed opportunity.
I was totally expecting that scene to be, he was going to aim at the oxygen tank and then accidentally just hit his mom square in the forehead.
Yeah.
And then nothing, the oxygen tank doesn't blow up.
I mean, honestly, like, I mean, he should have saved his mom, but like, she was probably gonna die no matter what. Like, she was really fucked up at that point. But yeah, that was just like a dumb scene. Like, it was just dumb. It would have been way better if what you said, Max, like happened, because it was just like, he just wants this like unicorn. I don't know. It's just like, he just gets like addicted to smoking and snorting the unicorn horn. And like, that's funny. And like, there's a line where the mom is like, I thought you were on the wagon. Like, where it's like, that's funny. But like everything could have been fleshed out more. Like, they could have spent more time fleshing out, like, and they could have made it funny while they were fleshing it out, but they resorted to one-liners that mostly don't land. Like, just most of them just don't land.
I do think there is some sort of placebo effect going on with the unicorn horn making him smart, because he talks just smart enough to where it's like, well, this kind of just sounds like a person saying the biggest words they know. And like trying to string them together. Like, she's like, well, will the oxygen tank blow up? And he's like, the O2 will combust. Yes. Like, he's just trying to talk smart because he's snorting the unicorn dust.
It's like he's on coke and he's just like going a mile a minute. That's like what's happening. But I wish, like, when he does it and his eyes like, go weird and stuff, it's like, I want to see what's happening, what he's seeing. Because it's just not coming together if you don't see what he thinks he's seeing. Like, I don't know. But I mean, the mom dies, and then it's Will Poulter, Jenna Ortega, and Paul Rudd left. And Paul Rudd has like, okay, so they sawed off the horn. Will Poulter made one of the doctors saw off the horn so he could like have it. And so they try to give the baby unicorn back, but the baby unicorn doesn't have a horn. So Jenna Ortega's like, why didn't this work? Which it's like, it doesn't have the horn. How do you not understand that the horn is not on the horse? Like it needs the full, like, oh my God. So Paul Rudd takes the horn. Why? I don't know. And then he's like, Jenna Ortega, go hide or whatever. And he's like running around with the horn, trying to lure the unicorns away from his daughter, I guess. And then Will Poulter like captures Jenna Ortega and is like, we need a fair maiden to just to hypnotize the horse. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
and these horses love Jenna Ortega. Like, they are in love with her.
Mama.
So, were you guys jarred by the fact that it was suddenly day when they left the house?
Yeah, it didn't really set up a sunrise.
like, not only was it like,
it's like, good morning.
The morning, it was like, it was midday. It was like afternoon when they left the house. It was this entire movie, like half of the movie is pitch black. And they're relying on the darkness and the power being out and these monster unicorns tromping around the house in darkness. And then all of a sudden, Paul Rudd leaves the house and it's the middle of the day for the rest of the movie. And I'm just like,
yep.
Was there like 20 minutes in this movie that was cut out?
Well, good, because the movie was long enough. It was 1 hour and like 48 minutes. I was like, if this was 2 hours, I would have been pissed. Like,
how long did Paul Rudd outrun that horse? Because he's sprinting with the unicorn horn and it shows the horse like galloping behind him.
Yeah, I'm sure that
And
horse
then-
is faster than him. Like, by the
Yeah,
way, like,
and then it'll like cut to a different scene of like other people doing stuff, and it cuts back to him, and he's like in the woods, like sprinting as fast as he can. The horse is like coming up on. It's like, how is he outrunning this horse?
it doesn't make sense logically. But Will Poulter has Jenna Ortega, and then the unicorns like come to her and like lay on her lap, which it's like, okay, fine, whatever. That makes sense. That hasn't happened the whole movie, but fine. And so he like ties them up, like their feet, their hooves, and she's like, "Can you let me go now?" And Paul Rudd comes back, and what like happens? Like Paul Rudd gets killed by Will Poulter.
Well,
then-
yeah. First, Paul Rudd comes up and stabs Will Poulter with the unicorn horn. Just like commits straight up homicide for not.
Does that happen first, or does he
That
get?
happens first. Like, yeah, Han shoots first in this. Like he stabs him with the unicorn horn, and then Will Poulter shoots him with an arrow, and then like they're both dying, and then the unicorn horns cross and create.
No, Will Poulter gets mauled by kicked by the
he gets
unicorn.
kicked in the head.
Yeah.
But then they heal Paul Rudd, and then they go into the infinity place, and Paul Rudd, whatever. It's
Because Jenna, they heal Paul Rudd because Jenna Ortega is crying, and the unicorns say, "Oh my God, our mother is crying."
Paul Rudd gets healed. The baby gets healed. Its unicorn horn gets reattached.
This is the part where the magic just becomes a little too much for me. Like the unicorns touch horns and like electricity binds them together, and then like a black vortex starts like coming
portal.
out, and it's like, what is happening?
I was fine with that. I was like, when she touched the unicorn horn at the beginning, I was all for it. I was like, all right, let's figure out what this is. Like, what are these mystical, interdimensional beasts going to be revealed? And then it barely pays off. The only payoff is the ending.
But even then, it's like
I still don't understand the ending.
the ending wasn't the worst. Like I honestly expected it to end in a worse way because this movie isn't very good. But like I honestly I think maybe like a couple of my points were redeemed. Like they're because of the ending, because I like the denouement where it's like, oh yeah, okay, they're gonna get caught by the cops and have to go to the police station because how the fuck is anyone going to believe them that unicorns killed all these people? And I was like, okay, I like this. Like, yeah, this works. And then like what's his name? Anthony Corrigan, like he survives too. So he's following the cop car, and then the unicorns like come up next to the cop car, and Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega are both connected to the unicorns now. So Paul Rudd like looks in the unicorn's eye and he knows that they're going to crash the car. Like, and then
Not
they
just crash the car though, they like push them off a cliff. Like,
and then that's the end.
Yeah.
That's the end. Like, okay. Like, I
All
honestly
right.
thought that was silly. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
also, why
All
are they
right.
going to jail? Isn't it obvious that everyone is either gored or trampled? Like,
Well, they're
This
getting
is-
questioned, but I don't know why if they were only getting questioned, they were being handcuffs. That doesn't make sense. Like,
Well, cops being cops. Okay, so final recommendations. Who would like this movie?
don't see this movie.
I think it's a good little monster movie that is fun, and it's fun if you're into the unicorn stuff. The characters are not good. I can agree with that.
The unicorns just look bad. They look really
Who
bad.
cares? They look different. They're like, they've got a unique design, and I think
No,
that's
this-
would have been better than just having them all look like this.
No, I agree, but the CGI is bad. Like the design
CGI
is
is not
fine,
great.
but the CGI is very out of place. Like that Jenna Ortega is crying next to a tennis ball. Like like it's not like
Yeah. I mean, I would. It's hard to recommend this movie because it's not for anyone really. Like, it's not a great date movie. Like, I wouldn't take a date that's not into horror movies because there's a lot of gore. It's not funny, It's kind of the last half of it is a decent monster movie, I guess. But other than that, it's meh. So anyways, let's move on. Let's get into horror movie whores.
Whores.
Who do we got, Bryce?
How many?
Movie whores. So, got a couple responses to the scary movie episode. I don't know if you guys have listened to the scary movie episode, but
I read the email transcripts, kind of, but
yeah.
Yeah, I heard some people were upset about that.
Yeah. We've gotten some feedback. So let's hear from this person.
okay.
What an absolute delicacy it was to have David back on the podcast. David Day. Miss you, brother. This is CJ from Massachusetts, a.k.a. is Beast from the Northeast. And I just wanted to express my absolute delight having David back. My boy went from looking like Lord Farquaad with those luscious locks to a certified DILF. So that's good to see. And Bryce and Sydney, Max, of course, I love all you guys. But man, I hope David is going to be on the podcast a lot more times in 2025, baby. Anyway, everybody have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.
We haven't heard from CJ in so long.
Yeah.
Sounds like he didn't hear about David's untimely passing.
Right. Yeah, we all, rip David. He died on his way back to his home planet.
Horrible crash. I heard there was combustion.
Hey, this is Sam from Indianapolis. I'm just listening to this scary movie podcast. And to be serious for a moment, I know I've given Sydney and Max a hard time, but I've always tried to be a little playful about it. But the shit David Day is saying to Sydney's face is just fucking disgusting. I've lost pretty much all respect for him. The comments of, we signed up for a girl with long hair and makeup, that's so fucking just disrespectful on so many levels, to devalue a human that's growing into themselves, as if David Day didn't himself grow into be somebody else, somebody that can't watch horror movies, or somebody that doesn't want to spend their time doing podcasts. Maybe the listeners didn't sign up for that. So, bro, I really hope this is some kind of fucking joke, but until David Day just relieves himself of this show, I'm not fucking listening. I'm not gonna fucking support you guys at all if that's the fucking case. It's fucking just a trash take. Do better.
Honestly, valid, dude.
Valid, Sam. Thank you. Well, the good news is David's no longer with us.
He died.
And, Sydney is the new majority owner, so going to be a lot of changes. And,
can I just say, I totally understand the supporting Sydney thing. I'm also on that side of support Sydney. But guys, they're not going to sleep with you. You don't need to suck up to Sydney so hard in every comment. It's getting egregious. Bryce and I will do an episode and the comments will be like, "Oh, Sydney. Oh, you graced us with another episode. Thank you, Sydney."
Yeah, Max and Bryce do a lot, guys. If I think I said this last time, but if whoever is saying "Hi, welcome to Horror Movie Talk," that's the person doing the episode. It's not like we just show up and then whoever's the one hosting is the one doing all the work. So
yeah, I don't think anyone's ever said, "Hey guys, I think you should lay off Bryce." Bryce is actually a good guy. And Bryce is the best part of the show. I don't think anyone's ever said that to me, and I've only been here for 6 years.
Max, you honestly have a point.
Doozies of comments about Bryce.
Yeah, you honestly have a point, Max. I really never thought of it that way. You might be right.
Michael from Central Virginia. tuned in to the YouTube premiere live announcement for the changes happening, the buyout. I just took a stress management seminar yesterday through work, and it didn't help with this at all. But congratulations, Sydney. Hope you can get all that squared away quickly. Yeah, you guys, you can't do this, stressing us out with this stuff. Oh my. Anyway, hope everyone is actually doing well. And I did maintain that I thought it was all some sort of joke. Just because some of y'all, anyway, I'm glad it's not all falling apart as what it seems like. And, yeah, hope y'all are doing good. I'm going to go try not to, have an anxiety attack.
Okay.
Bye.
I hope you don't.
Oh, our poor Michael. We put Michael through the ringer.
You know what? I feel you, man. We were all put through the ringer. It was a very confusing time for the podcast.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's pretty stressful for us. Like, we didn't know what was going on. And until it resolved, it was rough. So
Yeah, waking up to 50 plus comments is wild.
I don't have the notifications on anymore.
Hello, this is Tired Sandwich from California. This one is a question for Sydney more than you guys. I was listening to your Racerhead video, and Sydney said that she read the first 4 Dune books. How does she feel about Dune 2 changing how Paul Atreides' wife was supposed to be in the second film than what it is in the other one, and the fact that they took out little things from it? How does she feel about that? Or I'm so sorry. How did they feel about shoot? I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Say that out loud. I apologize. How did they feel about it? That is Bryce. I apologize. Well, I feel dumb. I apologize. But yeah, love your guys' stuff. I'm glad that Sydney took over pretty much all of horror movie talk. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
You are, dude, you're so fine. Thank you for apologizing, but you're so fine. I love this question because I am literally obsessed with Dune. So I could talk about this for hours, but I will not. Yeah, so they did change a lot of stuff in Dune 2, and I understand why they changed what they did. I understand why they didn't have Aaliyah in this movie. I do wish that they did, because it would have made the timeline make a lot more sense. Because it's years that Paul is living with the Fremen, not like 6 months, because like it just doesn't make sense that Jessica's pregnant the whole time. So I wish they had Aaliyah. I wish that Paul, in the movie didn't kill what's his name. I wish that was Aaliyah, because that would have been way cooler. But I understand that it's hard to make a magical 3-year-old who knows everything about the universe. I understand that. And I also, I didn't love the ending, how Zendaya or Chani was really angry at Paul, because she's totally in on what the situation is, and Paul has to marry the Emperor's daughter. Like, that just makes sense. And Chani knows that Chani's his real wife. So I really do wish that it hadn't ended like that, because I'm just worried about like Dune Messiah having like Chani be pissed the whole time. And that just wouldn't make sense, because Chani's his real wife and he does not touch, what's her name? He does not touch Florence Pugh's character at all in Dune Messiah. Like, she's begging for a kid and he's like, I will literally never even kiss you. Like, get away from me. Like, I'm only having children with my real wife. You're just my fake wife. Like, it's so good because it sets up the whole thing where she like betrays him in Dune Messiah and tries to like, work with the
spoilers,
the guild, and the
spoilers for Dune too. I haven't even seen Dune 1. Oh wait, I did see Dune 1
Talaxu and stuff. She's working with the Talaxu and the Reverend Mother and stuff, and I really hope that they rectify that for Dune Messiah, because Dune Messiah is my favorite book out of the series that I've read so far. And yeah. So, but I hope they stop making Dune movies after Dune Messiah, because I do not want to see Children of Dune put to screen, and I do not want to see God Emperor of Dune put to screen, because those are very singular. But yeah, okay, that was my little Dune rant. Sorry.
What is Max doing?
Dune is so boring. I hate Dune.
Okay, you can screw, because it's really good, actually.
Hey guys, this is Sarah from Salt Lake City. I've been meaning to call back in for a while. I don't think I've called since David has been on, and I probably have a lot of things to say, but I'll just take what I remember. Sydney, fucking awesome, doing great, love you. I dive in a little bit with David, like, David, I love you too, but guys, what's actually going on? I was in the group of this David as a trans woman. Why are you out here getting Sydney shit? I don't know what the fuck is going on. But Sydney, you are an owner now. You have the power. Yeah, you do you. Like, Anyway, I probably have more to say about that, but I was one that was real sad when David left, and he was favorite. And one thing I wanted to address is please never get rid of the intro song. It is my favorite thing in the whole fucking world. And every time it comes on, I jam with you guys. And every once in a while when I watch the videos, I'm stoked to see you jamming with me. Yeah, I mean, just please never change it. I know it was a while ago, but I was getting pretty upset when I heard it might be changed. I like the other options that were presented, but yeah, just don't change it. And I think my last point that's on my mind to make, Sydney, get them into more Lynch shit. I'm listening to the Eraserhead episode now. I had called a while ago when David was still on, trying to figure out. I knew David had watched to figure out if Bryce had watched Twin Peaks too, and I told you guys that we'll get the Patreon going to review Fire Walk with Me, and I didn't even have to use shit. I'm sorry, I am poor. I left the Patreon a while ago. I'm going to get back to it, I swear to God. Because, yeah, the ads are bad. Whoever called in and said, like every 10 seconds, it's like, Chumba Casino. That's very accurate. Pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know. I probably had a lot more to say, but I just love you guys so much. And yeah, maybe you'll get a second voice bill from me when I recover all the thoughts. But you guys are killing it. Love you. David, I still love you, but like, in the words of the mean kids, like, brother, okay. All right, I love you guys. Bye.
I really appreciate you, but Max chose Eraserhead. Max,
thanks for allowing us to do Eraserhead, Sydney. That was so nice of you. Thank you, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney told us that we're only going to do David Lynch movies for the remainder of the year.
Mm-hmm. We would run out.
And there's not that many, so she said, or they said we're going to double up on a lot of them. So we're going to do 2 episodes on The Elephant Man.
Did she say that she was, it cut out, did she say she was a trans woman?
No. She was mentioning how it's hypocritical of David since he is a trans, she is a trans woman.
Oh, right.
Well, I think David still uses he.
He, him?
He, him pronouns.
He, him, lesbian?
It's confusing. Yeah, so I don't know how many David Lynch movies could be considered horror.
I think most of them. We got a comment on the Eraserhead episode on Instagram where it was like, oh, like, Sydney, let's have the guys do Lost Highway and something else. And Inland Empire. And I was like, Lost Highway is probably the scarier of the two. Like, I would say Lost Highway is considered a horror, but like Inland Empire, I don't think has a place on this podcast. I love that movie. It's, I think, if not my favorite Lynch, it's one of my favorite Lynches, but it's kind of more of like an epic poem than like a horror movie. So we could probably do Lost Highway, but I don't know if any of his other movies would be considered horror. Like, we can't do The Elephant Man. Like, you know?
Yeah. And then she mentioned the intro song. I will say Fart Simpson reached out to me this week and said, hey, do you want to
really
a re-edit of the intro with drops from Max and Sydney? So we need to find some drops of Max and Sydney that we can put into the intro song.
I know what drop you're going to send of me.
What are you talking about? Where is it?
Inside.
It's definitely wet. Yeah.
Why does it look wet? I don't like that it looks wet inside.
It's definitely wet. It's like really
Ooh.
weird kind of I would love that. I mean, if the intro song could like retain its funness
I think
while
would just
putting our
swap out.
drops in, that would be great.
Yeah, you'd swap out the drops. So we need to find some. I don't know. That just takes a lot of time to figure out where to pull drops, because I haven't pulled very many of you guys.
How about listeners? You tell us what drops. Like, give us episode and timestamp of a drop.
I will
that you
tell
want in
you,
there.
there is one YouTube watcher that's doing us a lot of favors by
skeleton
marking,
whatever.
Yeah, by marking the time code on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
That
can
is-
she go back and like do like all of our episodes? Like,
Yeah, skeleton _ migraine 1736. They're marking like funny moments.
she's
in
a
the
woman.
episode.
She said something in one of her comments.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't misgender her.
I didn't know. I was saying.
Imagine I'm wrong.
Wait, saying
Bryce, you're going to
they,
be a
them
horror movie
when
talk
I don't
timeout.
know their gender is misgendering now?
Well, don't go on Twitter and say that because you'll get flamed.
Oh no. What did you say, Max?
Well, the new horror movie talk under Sydney's ownership is a 3-strike you're out system where you can mess up pronouns once or maybe even twice an episode, but 3 times an episode
you get kicked from the episode.
You get kicked from the episode.
Fuck out of here. I don't even know if I can.
I think
right,
Bryce
last-
has only used the wrong pronouns for Sydney once, and I don't think I've used the wrong pronouns at all this episode.
I usually have one in me an episode.
Max, you never misgender me.
My brain is getting really broken because so many times now when I'm talking about Sydney, I am being very purposeful about using they them pronouns. And now when I'm talking about other people who are women, like I hear someone say like, "Oh, she did this," and in my head I'm like,
"You're like
she?"
You're like, "Did you mean they?"
Yeah. I think maybe Sydney, because we'll have you call in on Riverside with your PC too and your phone. And so we'll have 3 of you on the screen, and then it'll be easier for me to say they. Because it'll be a plural of Sydneys. It'll be a multitude of Sydneys on my screen. It'll remind me to say they, them. Anyways.
Bryce, that was super bigoted, and that's strike 2 for you.
What?
Yeah. You only got one more strike.
I'm just trying to make it help. Okay. Last voicemail.
Good, because I have to pee.
What's up, guys? It's Troy from Florida. Sorry I haven't called in a while, but I just listened to the Hush episode, and my biggest takeaway from that is Bryce had to cook dinner one time, and now women should die. So that's an interesting statement. But no, in all reality, I hope everything's well. Hush was cool. I did finally watch the monkey, which I'm more higher on, I think, than you guys are. I just thought the kills were kind of fun and over the top, so the acting was but for a movie like that, I was just hoping the kills were absolutely brutal, and they were pretty wild to say. But have a good one. Looking forward to the next review. Bye.
Yeah, the monkey is actually a pretty good comparison for this movie. Like,
Yeah, Monkey was a lot better.
It kind of towed the line between tones as well, but it went very broad when it needed to.
I gave the Monkey a higher score than this, definitely, I think.
Yeah. So that episode, I forgot what I said about cooking. Did I talk about my chicken?
You talked about your chicken.
You
You said my wife doesn't even think when she goes to the store.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, it's true. It's true.
Women should die.
That's the one when I said, some women deserve to die.
Right.
Yeah, and you guys gave me nothing for that. You just like blank stared me. I'm like, oh, well, that one didn't land at all. I guess you guys don't like killing women. All right. I didn't know that was a hot button topic. Anyways.
All right.
That's the episode, everybody.
Woo! We did it.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is.
I just had to stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face.
Horror.
Wow, that didn't sound good.